about two different terms, the Internet and the World Wide Web. And in this lecture, I want to clarify and make sure you understand the difference between the two terms. Let's get started. So what is the Internet? And is it the same thing as the World Wide Web? We use these tools every day. But do you know how it actually works? Let's dig into these two different terms.
Works, sort of like electricity in your home. You use it every day, but may not understand the mechanics behind it. And if the electric grid is difficult to understand, then the Internet must be impossible, right? Wrong. In the next few minutes, I'll put you in the top 10% of people who understand how the Internet actually works. For SecurityCatalyst.com, I'm Aaron Titus. Whenever most people think of the Internet, this is what comes to mind. The Internet is not a bubble cloud, even in the new age of cloud computing. The whole fuzzy cloud picture was created by people more concerned about job security than education. This is the Internet. The Internet is a wire, actually buried in the ground. It might be fiber optics, copper, or occasionally beamed to satellites or through cell phone networks, but the Internet is simply a wire. The Internet is useful because two computers connected directly to this wire can communicate. A server is a special computer connected directly to the Internet, and web pages are files on that server's hard drive. Every server has a unique Internet Protocol address, or IP address. Just like a postal address, IP addresses help computers find each other. But since 72.14.205.100 doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, we also give them names like Google.com, Facebook.com, or SecurityCatalyst.com. So this is how it works. Your computer at home is not a server, because it's not connected directly to the Internet. Computers you and I use every day are called clients, because they're connected indirectly to the Internet through an Internet service provider. Here we'll pretend that this is my home laptop and I'm using DSL. Now let's pretend that I want to visit AOL.com, which is coincidentally both a server and an ISP. I hop onto my laptop with DSL, go through my ISP, onto the Internet, and look at AOL.com. My computer connects with AOL.com, and I can look at its web pages. Now let's say that I want to send an email to Aunt Ruth. Aunt Ruth has AOL dial-up from home, and I've got a Gmail account. I log on to gmail.com and compose a message to Aunt Ruth's email address, auntruth@aol.com. Once I click send, gmail.com sends the email to AOL.com. The next day, Aunt Ruth dials into AOL servers and retrieves the email. Whenever an email, picture, or web page travels across the Internet, computers break the information into smaller pieces called packets. When information reaches its destination, the packets are reassembled in their original order to make a picture, email, web page, or tweet. Okay, so imagine you're at work sitting next to your boss, and you're both surfing online. Your boss is doing market research, and you're updating your Facebook profile. You're both sending packets back and forth over the Internet. But what's to keep your packets from accidentally ending up on your boss's screen? That could be embarrassing. The solution to that problem is IP addresses and routers. Everything connected directly or indirectly to the Internet has an IP address. Everything. That includes your computer, servers, cell phones, and all of the equipment in between. Anywhere two or more parts of the Internet intersect, there's a piece of equipment called a router. Routers direct your packets around the Internet, helping each packet get one step closer to its destination. Every time you visit a website, upwards of 10 to 15 routers may help your packets find their way to and from your computer. Imagine each packet as a piece of candy wrapped in several layers. The first layer is your computer's IP address. Your computer sends the packet to the first router, which adds its own IP address. Each time the packet reaches a new router, another layer is added until it reaches the server. Then, when the server sends back information, it creates packets with an identical wrapping. As the packet makes its way over the Internet back to your computer, each router unwraps a layer to discover where to send the packet next until it reaches your computer and not your boss's. And that's how the Internet works, in 5 minutes or less. and you're now easily in the top 10% of people who understand the basics of the internet. If you found this video helpful, check.
Okay, so I hope this video was helpful in clearing up how the internet works. So, from that video, hopefully it became clear that the internet is the wire or connection that helps you to utilize the different web tools. Other services that we can access because we have that internet connection are things such as email, mailing lists, instant messaging, chat rooms, voice over IP, which is making phone calls via your internet connection. Some of you may utilize that at home. Things called FTP servers, which are servers you can log into to access information from someone else. Maybe they've given you the rights to pull down a big file. News groups and message boards. And cloud storage, accessing storage or software remotely from a computer via the internet. So, during our first week, we talked about kind of how technology has changed, and we talked about the first version of the World Wide Web, and we can access the World Wide Web through our internet connection. And there's a couple different social and technological developments I want to talk about that led to Web 2.0 and took us from that Web 1, where most of our web pages were just a bunch of text on a screen, to this next level of connectivity. So we had increasing internet connections available to the average person, and so more general public people were able to access websites via their internet connection. We also started to see the cost of a personal computer coming down in price, so that also led to more users being able to connect, able to view web pages. We had mobile phones becoming more prevalent, as well as mobile phones that were able to connect to the internet right through the phone. We also had advancements in web browsers. When I say web browsers, I'm talking about Internet Explorer, Google Chrome, Firefox, and Safari. These are web browsers that enable us to go out and type a web address up in the URL box and be able to access these web pages. Prior to the GUI or graphical user interface type of web browsers where it was more picture, you used to have to know the coding or the IP addresses for some of these websites to actually find them through the different servers. And another thing that helped is that society started embracing technological changes as well. So the new features that we were able to have now that we had Web 2.0 were a lot more online conversations. Web 2.0 is all about interacting with your customers through blogs, wikis, going out and sharing media, videos, pictures with them, being able to collaborate with your customers. An example of an online social media community that is very Web 2.0 would be Reddit. And this is an online forum type of a website where people can go out and they can actually vote on what content they think should be at the top of the different forums or user boards. The next video I want to show you is I want to talk about Web 3.0. And this is the next evolution we're going to be seeing in web, on the web. It's a very semantic web or an artificially intelligent web. So I want to show this video and then we'll talk about some examples you might be able to think about.
What is Web3? An example. Presented by Zero to ProTraining.com. Presented by Zero to ProTraining.com. In this video, we will talk about an example of a Web3 world. You are in a mood to watch a movie and grab something to eat afterwards. You like to watch an action movie and have an Italian food for dinner. You turn on your laptop and open a web browser. You go to the Google page. Perform a search for movie theaters, movies, and restaurants. You find out which are good actions movies to watch. Also, which movie theaters are playing those movies. You spend time reviewing descriptions of the films before deciding on your choice. Also, you do your research on which Italian restaurants are there near the movie theaters. You also check the reviews of the places. You may have visited about 20 sites in total before you are ready to head out, and may have spent half an hour doing the planning. This is how things work today in a Web 2 world. Experts believe that the next generation of the web, called Web 3, will change how things work. Web 3 will make search tasks faster and easier. And, on top of that, it will make searches more personalized. In a Web 3 world, instead of performing multiple searches, you would simply type a complex sentence or two, and the Web 3 browser will do the rest. In this example, you could enter, "I want to watch an action movie," and then, "want to have a dinner at an Italian restaurant." The Web 3 browser will display results for you. Web 3 browser will act as a personal assistant. As you use the browser to perform searches, it learns your interests. The more you use it, the more it learns about you. With time, you can be less specific with your questions. Eventually, you will be able to ask open questions. For example, where should I go for the evening? The browser would analyze the database for your likes and dislikes, consider your current location, and then provide its.
So after watching this video, can you think of any examples of Web 3.0 technologies that we already see in today's world? One example that we've probably seen for a little while now is on Amazon. When you make a purchase, have you ever noticed towards the bottom it says, people who purchase this product also like these products, and you might like them as well. That artificial intelligence are kind of anticipating your likes and dislikes is the step that we're looking at here in Web 3.0. Things like Cortana and Siri and the Amazon Echo Alexa also are kind of that technology. We're seeing our cars becoming smarter, our refrigerators becoming smarter. So I think we are seeing bits and pieces of Web 3.0. I think this is going to increase, and I think that our browsers are going to get even more sophisticated and anticipate our needs and know us even better. And my question for you is, what do you think about this? Is this going too far? Does this make you comfortable or uncomfortable? That is the end of the lecture on the Internet and the World Wide Web. I hope that this clears up the difference for you between the two terms. The Internet is the connectivity, connection we have that allows us to access the World Wide Web, along with email and many other services. Thank you.